Hey everybody, welcome to When Two Becomes One. This is a new show that we're starting to just talk about different couples issues and things that are affecting couples in this day and time. Everybody around this table is friends. We are all couples. We hang out together. We chill together. We are our friend group. And so we just decided that it would be worth coming together and having conversations to share with the general public, because as couples, we talk about couples issues all the time. And so we thought that maybe someone else or other couples may be able to benefit from hearing about these discussions as well. This is our inaugural episode. We are so glad that you tuned in with us. And for this episode, we're just going to give you an opportunity to get to know us. So we're all going to go around and just talk about how we met. So with that being said, I'm going to pitch it off to the Bradshaws. Please. Tell the world how you met.
Hey, so I gotta talk about my ex-wife and all that guy.
Keep that short.
I definitely would keep that short. You know, because that was a short-lived relationship.
You ain't got to name her. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody knows.
You ain't dropping nobody's name.
See, look at Don.
The world wants to know about this different path. But
okay.
What's this different path?
Well, I'm gonna let my wife take over and let her fix that.
I'm the fix for us.
Yeah.
Okay. When he says we went two different ways, it was really he found someone else who he thought was his wife, but really it wasn't his wife because he never, ran that person by me. I would have told him. I'm sorry. Bring it in.
Easy. Facts.
Okay. I'm sorry. But he used to share everything with me in terms of all of the young ladies he dated. And, we were, like I said, we were just friends, so it was never really a big thing. So this one, this young lady kind of took me by surprise. I was like, oh, really? I said, okay. But I did ask him one question. How do you know that she is your wife? And he got real quiet and couldn't say anything. So I just dropped that nugget on him, and I just, allowed him to make that decision.
Growing up, as you said, we were always good friends, and I dated a lot of women. And I always brought to her attention, okay, what do you think about this woman? What do you think about that woman? And she always gave me her honest opinion. I always respected
Never showed
that.
any biases because,
but you respected her.
Right. In the midst of him dating these other young ladies when we were teenagers, he never told me how he really felt about me.
Oh, wow. Closed mouth.
So I wanted to have fun for my prom. And I didn't want to take somebody that I did not know. And at the time, I was not dating anyone. And my mother was getting ready to set me up with somebody who was a son of somebody. And I was like, no. So I asked my friend to, come to prom with me. So he agreed. He was excited, everything. So we go to my prom. We have a good time. Then we get back in the limo. So he leans over to me and just out of nowhere, he starts telling me how he really feels about me. Now, mind you, we have been friends all these years. I've gone through all of the girlfriends, and I've just been a listening ear.
Many.
It was never...
Yeah, right.
Many.
I believe it.
It was never, why doesn't he like me? It was never that type of thing. So as he's telling me, I'm busting out laughing.
Oh, wow.
I would have too.
And it wasn't,
you would have been.
Honestly, it was not laughing at him, but it caught me off guard.
He's still crying.
It caught me off guard.
Stacey, I told you we're not going to do that.
And so I was speechless. I didn't know what to say at that moment in time. It was just like, how do you just have that bomb just dropped on you? And it's just like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this?
She laughed at me. She laughed in my face.
At least she didn't say wow.
And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I said something wrong. Because I was always known as the funny guy, always making everybody laugh. And so I said, okay, I'm going to try this on day 2. So on day 2, we in that Toyota Tercel. Corolla. We going down 95 South. Jesus. So she's driving. So, we sitting there, we riding, and, we just having leisure conversation. And we talking about, the prom the night before, and I looked over and I said, yesterday I told you that, I really liked you and I was really feeling you. So, I really want to know, what's up, and I think we should take this, to a different level. She laughed again.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Mercy.
So the thing was that I liked Rank. I did. I had feelings for him. But at the same...
No.
Okay, Monet,
Well,
you
yeah, she
jumping,
did.
Monet,
She
you
laughed
jumping
at it.
ahead of my story.
Sorry.
Yeah, she did. She laughed at it.
Yeah, thank you.
So it was just kind of for me, it was just kind of, it caught me off guard. I didn't know how to respond. So when I got to Bennett, I wrote him a 5-page letter.
Oh, wow.
Was it 5 page?
5 pages.
I wrote 5-page front and back to him.
You still got that letter?
I got the letter. He never responded. So then I called.
He never got it. He never knew it.
No. He got it.
He got it because she got
Then
it.
I called.
Nigga, that's a 10-page letter.
His mama answered the phone. His mama said, "Hold on." She must have said something to him, and then she came back on the phone and said, "He's not available. Or he's not here." Something she said. So I said, "You know what?
That's right.
I'm done." Because I was going to, and in the letter I had said, well, let's figure out how we can make this work. Because I know you don't like long distances, but I'm going to come home on the weekends. I mean, not on the weekends, but, holidays and different things like that. So let's just, see how we make it work. He said nothing. So later on, I found out he said nothing because he was hurt. And he was standing right next to
Rightfully
his
so.
mother. Stacey, whose side are you on? Queens
Nobody.
stick together. Queens stick together.
You're right, Queen. My
But
bad.
anyway, so time passed. We go our separate ways. So then he gets this phone call. Now, I get the phone call. So when he calls me, I'm crushed. I'm hurt. Because I'm sitting here thinking, he was single, I was single. Eventually, God will allow our paths to cross again. So when he calls and he tells me that he's getting married, I'm sitting up here like my world has just, So that's when I asked him that question: how do you know that she is your wife? He sent me an invitation to the wedding, and of course I did not go. But he later told me he was expecting for me to go because he wanted me to stop him from getting
Jesus.
Interesting.
I honestly, when I made my guest list, and how we all know we go through that, guest list, and you sitting there, you're just like, you don't want to miss anybody. And outside of my family, Alicia was the first person that I put on that list after my family. And I dreaded the phone call. But I was like, this is my best friend. Like,
She'll
we're going,
understand.
she's gonna be happy for me, And when I told her, I can hear the hurt in her voice because when I was like, so you gonna come? And she was like, nothing. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna send you the invitation and I'll just talk to you later. And the day of the wedding, Dawn was there. And I'm sitting there and I was like, man, I know Alicia gonna come. I was like, I know she gonna come. And I'm like, oh, she ain't come, she ain't call you, she say nothing. And I'm looking out, and I'm looking, and I never saw her. And I looked, it was like that last opportunity because I was like, well, maybe she gonna come right before the ceremony starts. And she never came. And find out that she had never no intentions of coming in. When we had conversations after the fact, she said, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had came, I was gonna stand up and object this because
Really?
I knew this was not right. And I honestly, I respect her for that.
Lack of action.
And I honestly, and I'm being very transparent and honest, I wish she had.
Okay.
The only reason why, again, I married my ex-wife was to spite my mother. I proposed to my ex-wife while we were having sex. So I knew that wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah, I've done that before.
It was
We're editing it.
yeah. that was, but I always knew that Alicia was the one for me. I really feel like from that I learned a lot, and it made me the person I am now, the husband I am now, the father I am now, to know that I need to be real and just go with my heart. And my heart was Alicia. And September 20th, we stood before God and confessed our love and our dues, and here we are today.
Yep.
All right. We're going to take the spotlight off of the Bradshaws
Thank you.
for a second. I want to pitch it off to the McGee's. Please introduce yourselves. Tell everyone your name, and how did you guys meet?
So, I'm Dawn,
I'm Will.
and our story has two versions. There's the truth, and then there's William's version. So, I'm going to go ahead and let him have his moment, and then I'll clear it up.
Well, let me go ahead and tell y'all how this went down. We had a Mother's Day play at our church, Lane Memorial CME, Washington, D.C., and she came with her mom and her aunt. And at the end of the play, again, my brother and this time her aunt were working together trying to, they were trying to put us together to get us to go on a date. But didn't happen at that time.
Because?
Because it didn't happen. That's
So, it didn't happen at that time because he was in a relationship.
I ain't cut this out. I was not.
Okay, he was in a relationship.
That's not true.
And I communicated to Danny and my aunt. I said, you all over here calculating, but I see him over to our left having a conversation with a young lady who I had been seeing him every time we got together. It always just
When you had a
pair up.
When you had a barbecue,
So-
you stop us.
That means you have been watching him.
Thank you,
No,
Sam. Thank
Let's be
you,
clear.
Sam. And
No,
when
no,
you had a barbecue,
no.
can you help
No,
the
no,
gnats
no.
are flying around?
No. But my point to the two, our family members that kept talking was, wait a minute, how are you all over here planning and there's already a ball in motion? That's where I was coming from. Okay, continue.
The ball was dead. Okay, wasn't no ball. Anyway, so in the summer, I had an idea to get like all the young adults within our sister churches to go to a Nats game. We tried to do it again.
And this time he didn't tell anybody.
Okay. Here we have. I put it out. Nobody responded this time. So I told her, I said, hey, looks like nobody wants to go this time. And she says, well, then I guess I'll just go by myself.
Right. At this time, I had been single for 7 years. 7 years. I had done a lot of things by myself. Travel, concerts, whatever. And so my point is, when I said no problem, I would go by myself. I really wasn't being facetious because I had done a lot by myself.
Let me pause you for a second. How does one stay single for 7 years?
I don't feel that's
Growing up in
So-
Southeast.
How does that?
It was definitely a spiritual and a personal retreat, if you will.
A 7-year retreat?
7-year retreat.
That's
It was
more like a sabbatical.
It was not my plan. I will tell you that it was not my plan. I had gone through a period where I was really seeking some spiritual growth and divine intervention, and I had a praying experience. And
Your king.
a few, not that fast, Sam. But a few days after that personal praying time, I had a dream and a revelation that I'll be single for 7 years. And when I came awake, I was, like, 7, what was that dream about? But I didn't expect it to be what it was. And it was a desert for 7 years.
Like no court? Did
There was
anyone
no
try to
courting.
come and date you?
So this is the funny part. It was kind of like being caged like an animal in a zoo where people come to visit. And so, yes, there were people that were trying to seek my time and attention, but there was always something that said, do you really want to waste your time? By the end of this 7-year journey, I can honestly say my heart was different. My mind was different. I was actually ready. If I had married anybody before then, it would have failed. I would have been divorced because I was not in mind, heart, and spirit ready for the responsibility of a marriage relationship. I was not. So it was necessary.
Yeah, she was definitely ready.
Oh. Yeah, so that is, and so that Nats game was our first date, our first conversation, and we were together ever since that day. There was no break in our interaction after August 25th, 2011.
She remembers the date.
Yeah.
Billy.
That's it. Put it on, bro. That's it.
No, she's still questioning her decision.
That's right, brother.
Hey,
She said she was like an animal in a cage.
yeah.
I let the cage. I opened the cage, brother.
Yes, you did.
God.
Yes, you did.
All right.
In the cage, did
So Billy, we got Don's recount of what happened up until, what was it, August 25th, 2011? Billy, from your perspective, what happened after August 25th, 2011?
Let me tell you what happened. Okay, so we had a good time at the baseball game. I was shocked. So I was like, I'm expecting to, I was like, man, I really don't want to go to the baseball game and talk about the Bible the whole time. So, but so I was actually, very shocked and pleased because, I enjoyed talking to her. It's because it was, like I said, it wasn't what I expected. I was like, let me do this, get my brother off my back, do this, move on, whatever. Because again, I'm like her. I'm like, well, I wasn't single for no 7 years, but
But it was a year though.
no,
You said sometime.
yeah,
It was sometime.
whatever. Yeah, it wasn't no 7 years.
It's all good.
I think it took both of us by surprise. Just
It
how
did.
much we were, in one another. So.
And the crazy thing, the day he asked me to be exclusive, it was 7 years and a day.
Wow.
So when I got home, I had a personal meltdown because I was like, God, what are you saying? So I was very guarded because I was like, whoa, that's kind of threw me just a little bit. But all in all, it's been fun.
Absolutely.
So
How about that? So our illustrious host, we're gonna kick it off and ask the Thomases,
yes, sir. I'll take it.
Cayenne and Monet. How did you all meet?
You want to start?
No.
You want me to?
That means she got something under her sleeve.
No.
Right, I know. I know.
Something under her sleeve.
She want the man to go first.
That's right.
There you go. There you go.
All right. So we went to Carleton College in Northfield, Minnesota. Very unlikely place to meet, but that's where we met. She went through the Posse program, and I just got in, so I was on my own. So she had a whole clique of people that she had known for the past year and a half that were all there at the school with her. And I was literally by myself, just floating. So
From the hood, bro. That don't matter.
yeah, look. I was. Let me tell you. Let me preface this real quick. I was a hopeless romantic in high school.
Okay.
Right. I'm talking about. you know, writing poems to girlfriends, and I'm, you know, yada. My father would like, he would like laugh at me sometimes. Like I was always had a girlfriend, but it was like, you know, this is my girl. I'm being in high school, right? People was looking at me like I'm crazy. By senior year, I said, when I go to college, I'm done with all of this.
Yeah.
I want to be the biggest hoe that I could possibly be. Right? That was
Speak, my brother.
You want to sow into his ministry?
I felt something going through my spirit.
that was the goal, man. That was the goal. I was like, I'm done with all this tying down romance. I was like, I'm gonna be a hoe. We're gonna be a pimp. I was like, I'm gonna be a pimp. That's what I'm gonna do.
I was dead and I wasn't even in college.
From poetic to pimp. Hey.
So I went. So you know, we got to college, and that was my whole mindset. I was like, man, we're about to pimp this out. And it was funny because I had a girlfriend that I had no intention of being faithful to, and I think she knew that I had no intention of being faithful to. When I went to college, and she was just like, she eventually got to the point where she was like, I don't care, you do what you do, I just want for you to be with me when you're at home.
Like, okay.
And I was like,
That's pimping.
That's the kind you want to That's the kind you
That's the
want
start of pimping.
That's called a situation.
man, it was yeah, it
A
was
situation.
rocky.
There you go.
So I'm at college, I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to do the pimp thing or whatever. And but I'm also like a natural introvert, so it's hard to be a pimp when you don't like talking to people. You know what I'm saying? So
That's backwards.
you're right, yeah. So we had I had a friend named Jamal, and Jamal dragged me out to this party. So all of the townhomes on campus had nicknames, and one of them was named Crack House, and that's what this party was. So it was a party at Crack House, and my friend Jamal drags me out to the party. So I go to the party. You know, I'm not really having a good time. It's like white people dancing. I'm posted up on the wall, and Monet walks in with her friend Latrice. And you know, I saw him walk in, right? And I was just like, at this point, I had already made up in my mind, I'm out of here in 5 minutes, right? Okay. So I'm posted up on the wall, mean mugging, hands crossed. I got one leg up. Jamal has already grabbed Latrice and started dancing with her. Yeah. Right, so I'm done with the whole situation. I'm like, I'm getting ready to go. Monet, out of nowhere, doesn't know me from Adam, walks up to me, grabs my hand, pulls me off the wall, and starts dancing with me.
My girl,
right?
Yes, girl, take what you want.
So I'm first of all, I'm like, you know, for an introvert, this is a big deal. I'm like, yeah, I don't know who this girl is, but she just pulled me off the wall. So you know, we're gonna start dancing, and I got all these thoughts running because I overthink stuff. I got all these thoughts running through my head. All right, it's the third song. Like, you know, am I being thirsty? Like, does she really want to keep dancing or whatever? But I'm gonna tell you what happened that like kind of set it for me. There was another guy who was there. I won't name his name because I think he might be a Facebook friend. But there was another guy who was there, and when he came in, he was clearly interested in dancing with Monet, right? While she was dancing with me. And I was like, I don't know this girl. Like, she pulled me off the wall, but I'm not going to act like I have any, like, stake and claim to her, right? So he made it pretty obvious. He kept dancing around and like trying to dance with Monet. And when he finally, like, sort of made the move to, like, break us up, Monet very cleverly maneuvered out and came back and kept dancing with me. And I was like, well, she wants to do this. So this is what it is. And that party lasted until maybe 2 a.m. We danced the entire time. We left together.
Stop right there. Mm-hmm. You said you was leaving in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was leaving.
5 minutes turned into what? 2 hours.
Right.
3 hours.
11 years.
Wait a minute. Stop right there. Don't fast forward yet. We need the other part. Yeah. We need some of that beginning. Yeah.
So we left, and we were still with Jamal and Latrice. Yeah. We left the party, and we just, you know, we were all together in the group, and we just started walking. As we were walking, we were just, you know, we were talking, and we really just started
clicking.
Yeah, just clicking. Like, we just started meeting minds. She was like, I want to be a lawyer, and I was like, I want to be a writer, and we just talked about everything that we were going to do and how things were going to be and like all these dreams and stuff that we have for each other. And by the time, because Jamal drove us, by the time we got back to your dorm room, the sun was coming up.
Yes.
Wow.
And it was like, there was the entire night we had spent the entire night together.
Dang, I didn't even do nothing.
So, yeah, nope.
Not that it did cross your mind.
Man.
It crossed your mind too. You gonna be on
But that's okay. So that's why it didn't pop off immediately, because I was still like, I don't want to be tied down to one girl. Like I've been through this, right? So for a while we were just friends, right? And I had the girlfriend at home. I had another girl on campus who I was talking to, and that was a whole big thing. And I would literally like I would be stressed out about the girls, and I would go to Monet, and I would like vent to Monet about how I was stressed out about the girls.
There's something about them St. John.
You know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
That's crazy.
It was nuts. It was
She didn't have to do that. She really did not have to do that. She really did not have to do that.
Awesome.
She really got set.
So by the end of that first semester, that was freshman year. By the end of that first semester, I was like, okay, something's got to give. One of the girls I was talking to went off for a semester abroad, and she was like, I want for you to be here when I come back, and yada yada yada. And then I had the other girlfriend at home, and I had Monet just there. And I remember writing a letter to my father while I was in school, and I was like detailing all the stuff that was happening. And I was telling him about each one of the girls, like in the letter. Don't ask me why I wrote a letter. I could have just called him. I don't know. But to this day, and I think I still have that letter. It got to Monet's part, and I was like, and then this is a girl named Monet, and she's just cool. She's just like a real good friend that I talk to, and she's just cool. She's just cool people. And by the end of that first semester, I was like, I knew something had to give. So we came back. Second semester, I was like, look, I think it's just something. I think we should start dating. And she was like, all right.
I don't remember that. I don't remember how we started.
I know it was second semester, because first semester I was still going through all the stuff. And then third semester came back, and she was like, hey. And I was like, I got a girlfriend.
Yeah. But I don't remember how we even, like, what was that point where we said, yeah, let's start talking now. Because I didn't come to campus being a hoe. She said it all properly.
You want to emphasize that?
I wasn't.
You was a lady.
That's right. A lady.
That's right.
I was a lady. But I also knew that because my parents were experiencing a divorce, and so I was like right in the sort of midst of that, and like I was leaving home, so I felt like I was escaping.
Okay.
So this is like solitude escaping, like not wanting to just kind of break away, but literally not knowing that being gone from all the frustration was what I really needed. Just to kind of think about what I wanted. So I don't remember. I remember the party clearly, but I remember doing it because Latrice and I, that was our first time going out. And we were like, I had on a turtleneck, like a sweater at a party. Thank you. That's what I said. At the party, only person with a sweater on, Latrice and I. You know what I mean? And so I remember pulling him because he was that oddball. Like he was that guy who was really in his world. And I felt like you're going to pay attention to me. Even though I'm not looking for anybody to pay attention to me, but I feel like you should. Okay. So let's do this.
Oh, no, she didn't. She said, no. She said, he is going to pay attention to me.
And
he
did.
Man,
what
That's what I felt. But I do remember, I think it was a few days later, there was a note left in my locker. No. You said that you thought that I wrote you a note.
Yes. You want to tell the story?
Because there was, in his locker, his mailbox, there was a poem.
Someone left me like a love note.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anonymous, and left it in my mailbox.
Yeah.
And it was within 48 hours of when we had spent the whole night together.
Yeah.
So I thought it was
Homegirl.
Monet.
Okay.
So you know me, I'm a writer. I took the joint and went home. I broke some stuff down. I wrote this real heavy poem back, and found it and gave it to her.
Yeah,
right?
you did.
And she took it and she read. She was like, "Oh, this is beautiful." And I was like, "Yeah, I got your poem. I just had to, give you a poem back." She was like, "I didn't." She was like, "I didn't write you a poem."
Oh my God!
She could have admitted it. She could have just
I was
faked
like,
the funk.
and I didn't believe her.
I
I didn't believe her.
From Shanta.
I did not believe
We don't.
her.
We're not faking.
No chaser. You gonna know how I feel.
She's like, I ain't write a poem. I was like, you had to have written, like, there's references. So she was like, no, I didn't write a poem.
It was like I could have written like the how it read. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Did you ever find out who did it?
Yes.
Jesus, that was
Yes,
awkward.
there was a young lady who, it was funny because one of the first things I remember when I was talking to the older guys was she like walked past and he was a sophomore. No, he was a junior at that time. And he was like, yeah, man, that's, I won't say her name because again, she's a Facebook friend. But he was like, that's, whatever. And man, like all the guys, like, you don't want to get with her. She don't pay attention to none of them. Like everybody want to hear whatever. And I was like, I ain't bet. Like when I saw it, like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, she's the finest thing. It was just like, okay, log in your head. Like, a lot of guys want to get with this girl. She's not paying attention to him. So it ended up being her.
Interesting.
And so, and I remember telling my name, because all this happened, that was a very busy freshman term, fall semester. There was a lot happening when I first got to college. But I was like, yo, like, I just came in as a freshman, and this sophomore that everybody's looking at just wrote me this note and trying to get with me. Like, I feel like I just, like, up this social status.
Your chest poking out.
Yeah, so we about to, I'm not about to turn that down.
He an introvert with his chest poking out.
Yeah.
You see his
He's
head.
an introverted pimp.
Yeah.
That's what you went there for.
That's what's up.
That's sad.
So I got a question for Monet. So during the dancing,
Oh yeah.
what made you shun the other guy?
Because I didn't have time for all that stuff. But first, I think that was not my first time meeting the other guy.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I met him maybe the first or second week of coming on campus. And we did walk, like, along the promenade or whatever the case may be, like, getting to know each other, but nothing serious. And so I didn't want to be like, let's make this a thing.
Okay.
And I didn't want you to think that.
Got it.
Because I really just, nice to know you, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But I also felt very comfortable just dancing with Kane. It was a comfort level.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yep.
What's that
Interesting.
quiet storm in him?
Yeah.
I know. I think that's really what it is. Like this
I'll take it.
mysterious kind of dude.
Y'all still believe in this man? It's quiet. I'm not gonna take that. That's my brother and I love him. No, that's not. No. Okay, brother.
You should take a
Your
page
new
out of
name
this
is
book.
Silent Assassin. Silent
I
Assassin.
like that.
I'll take it.
That's
Because
good.
out of this Pentagon group, the wise think that you are the quietest one.
And that's not true.
Yeah.
I will never get that mark.
I talked to
Ever.
You are the
Billy would never get that mark.
Ever.
He's just
Never ever. We're never going to get that mark. Ever.
Well, look. Since we talking to Stacy, it's now the Taylors.
All right.
Time.
how was it tailor made?
Right.
Well, the first or the second time we met.
You're not gonna do that with my brother.
No, it's
my brother.
because it did transpire that way. So we met. I'm Stacy. This is Sam. We met in high school. 1985.
Damn, I was 2.
Really crazy.
That is dirty.
Hey. Stop right there.
Here's the assassin.
I am not going to let you on.
Because I was 9.
That will hit.
I was 9.
That right there.
Do we have to drop ages?
We ain't doing that. Anyway, continue, honey.
Anyway, so we went to high school together. We did not have classes together, but we ran in the same circles. We rode on the bus together. We had some of the same friends. And of course, I didn't let him, hook up with me because he had too many women. And I'm like, I'm quiet. I'm low key. I don't want my name, mixed up with his name because he knows too many people. He's too popular. We graduated. He went his path. I went my path, and then we reconnected through a mutual friend. So he was like, tell her to call me. So I called him. He didn't answer. I'm like, tell me to call him for he not gonna answer the phone. I'm done. And you get one chance, one and done. I'm out. All right. So he calls back later. Come to find out, he was out with some other young lady. That's why he didn't answer the phone. Because he was already preoccupied.
I was on my way to Florida.
On a cruise.
Wow.
I was on my way to Florida. I was on an Amtrak train.
Wow.
With another young lady on my way to go down to a cruise she had bought for us. Gosh, that was a long. When I got back, I think the next day I called her, and she was like, "Yeah, I tried to call you." And
what you calling me for now?
days later. I was like, I was tied up. I was busy.
Yeah.
Code for I was on some other stuff.
Exactly.
Hey, I was tied up. I was busy. That was the truth. I was busy.
It was the truth.
That was the truth. There you go. So go ahead, continue.
So anyway, he ended up coming to Chicago for something. You ended up coming like right after that to Chicago. And you hit me up and I'm like, what does brother want now? What? We didn't talk. So what does he really want? What is this really about? That's a fair question. He had a list of young ladies he was interested in high school who did not give him a chance. And he was persistent. And he was going to check those women off of his list.
I'm trying to see what's wrong.
Wow.
Hey, bro, did you make it to the list?
Yeah.
No, I mean, he set a goal for himself. Checking on, make sure he was able to,
accomplish his goal.
That's my man, Billy, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what did he do wrong?
What? You don't want a man that sets goals and priorities?
Yeah, not that goal.
Well, first off, he had his priorities in straight, but let you know he's goal oriented. Because he set a goal.
That's right, bro.
And he went to achieve that goal.
Say it again.
I did.
So that's some hot mess. So anyway, we hung out a few times. I ended up breaking up with the person I was involved with, and he was like, well, come out here and see me. I was like, come out there for what? What do you really want?
Right.
Let's just go ahead and just be honest with one another and, talk this thing out. So I came out, it was my first time on the flight. He was like, just get on the flight. What are you scared of? I was like, I might fall out the sky. Anything can happen. He was like, you can die in the car. And I was like, true story. However, I'm terrified of flying. So I bought a ticket on this bootleg airline, Independence Air, which is now gone out of business. I was one of 2 passengers on the entire flight. I did not tell anyone I was flying here because I did not want to be embarrassed.
Okay.
And I didn't want people knowing why are you going to go see this man? What is this about? And I was coming out here to hook up with him. I mean, let's just be real. So took the flight out here, called him from the airport. Hey, I'm on my way. He was like, all right, I'm gonna pick you up. What airport you going to? Going to Dulles Airport. Pick me up. My flight gets in at midnight. My flight gets in at midnight. So make sure you're there because I've never been, I'm really scared. Never been on a plane. Nobody knows I'm coming. I think I shared it with my boss just in case something happened. Get here. I call him. I'm like, hey, I'm here. He's like, oh, okay. Get ready to pull around. He's at BWI. Oh. So what he did not tell me is that he was at the wrong airport. He just kept saying, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
I was around the corner. I was around the corner.
He was around the corner from BWI.
From BWI. That's what. Listen to me.
BWI.
Listen to me. Yeah. I was a driver at the time. I was doing part-time chauffeuring at the time. So I got the chauffeur car. I'm going to pick her up in the Lincoln Town car. Right. So I'm over at my buddy's house, who lives 5 minutes from the terminal.
Right.
So when she called me, I'm like, I'm 5 minutes away, no problem. Let me ease on around her. So I leave and go to BWI. So now I'm a BWI. So I'm an hour away.
Yeah.
I'm 45 minutes away from
So
Dulles.
I'm standing out there waiting.
Ooh.
Everybody's leaving the airport. The airport was closed.
Right. Yeah, at midnight.
I was on the last flight of the night, so the cleaners coming around with their little zoom, the little buffers. Are you okay, ma'am? You need a cab? You all right? Just waiting on the friends. So now I'm super embarrassed. I can't call anyone to say I'm stranded. I had a friend in the area, the same girlfriend who told him to call.
Oh my God.
She's in the area, but I can't call her because I know she's gonna tell everybody, girl, she came out here and she's stranded. So I'm like, I can't call nobody. So what am I gonna do? I don't know where to go. I have no reference point. I don't know what hotel to stay.
I didn't leave you out there. What I tell you?
Stranded.
He kept saying, I'm on my way. So I'm repeating. Now I feel like a stalker. Hey, so how long you gonna be now? So this is the time of the brick phones, you know, because we're talking 14 years ago. Phone died. Now I'm on pay phones.
Yeah.
How long you gonna be? How much longer? Is this you pulling up? That's not you, is it? No, it's not you. It's not you pulling up. Oh, that's somebody. Okay. So he did not tell me he was at the wrong airport till much later.
Oh, okay.
Much
So I'm
later,
still
like after y'all got married.
probably around that time.
Oh,
It was a while. It was a while before I found
he
out.
want to bother you with those petty, you know.
It ain't no petty details.
That's major.
But how
Major
did the
detail.
weekend go?
Did he come?
He showed up. He finally showed up, and I'm
That's all that matters.
I'm
You know what?
stewing.
What
I
happened?
am heated.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm that person. I'm gonna try to be cool with it. I'm not gonna blow the weekend because I didn't spend my money to come see this man. He about to give me some service on this. You owe me.
You took care of that.
You
You took care of that. Shrivel up. You took care of that. Shrivel up. You took care of that.
Shrivel up. Hey, she here, ain't she?
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to our very first episode of When Two Becomes One. As you can tell, between the 8 of us, between these 4 couples, we got stories upon stories upon stories to tell. And hopefully we will continue to have opportunities and episodes moving forward to go more into our personal experiences, more into our personal stories, to go more in depth into our situations, and hopefully to be able to give you guys something to be able to learn and grow from on whatever journey that you're on. So once again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in, and look forward to the next episodes.